Is a change to our voting system for parliamentary elections now inevitable, or are there enough MPs who would vote against it?
I think it's clear that Parliament will vote to give the people a referendum. It's not clear what the result of the referendum would be. One of the odd things about direct democracy is you can't always predict the result. And if you could, we shouldn't have that kind of system.
Change isn't at all inevitable. It may be that the coalition has agreed that there should be change, but politicians tend to act in their self-interest, and the current system means that 7 out of 10 MPs come from one-party fiefdoms. A lot of them rather like the system. You're going to hear a lot of reasons why we've got to keep the status quo.
As someone who's campaigned for constitutional and political reform for quite a while now, I never think that any reform, particularly one as significant as electoral reform, is ever inevitable. There are always obstacles, there are always things that, events that can happen that could prevent something. So although we have a government commitment to hold a referendum on reform, I certainly don't see it as inevitable. Firstly, as the question identifies, you've got to get the bill through Parliament. So although both Conservative and Lib Dem MPs will be whipped to support the measure, that's no guarantee it will get through. MPs might decide to rebel, or equally other MPs might seek to amend it and might get support for that. The other thing you've got to bear in mind is obviously that even if the bill does get through Parliament, that gives us a referendum, and that means that organisations like us who believe that electoral reform is important have to make a case to the country as a whole, and we have to persuade the majority of people in the United Kingdom that they want to turn out and vote in favour of this. So certainly I wouldn't see this as at all inevitable.
I think there's a massive pressure building up for a change, but first of all, the change that we're going to try and make initially to the alternative vote has to win a referendum of the general public, which I hope very much that it will, and then MPs have got to recognise the public's decision in that case and carry it through into legislation. I don't see that they can hold this off much longer.